Hello, dear listeners. You're welcome to the platform, to the channel once again. And today we want to continue the topic that we started, and that is the Song of the Women of My Land, written by Omar Farouk Sese. And today we are going to look at the poetic devices and the poem. The first one on the list is presentation technique. Omar Farouk Sese presents the songs of the women of my land in the personal technique. That is, he is directly involved in the storyline of the poem, and this is noticed in the poem when we have the phrase "my land." It means it's part of the particular land, and it is in turn signals that the great empathy from the poet to the challenges faced by the Sierra Leonean women folk is not unnoticed. So that is the presentation technique, the involvement of the poetic persona as pertaining to the poem itself. That is what is meant by persona technique. The next one is imagery. It is noticed in lines 1 to 5 of Umar Farus's The Songs of the Women of My Land. The picture is thrown up of two eras of contrast of songs, that is, different songs in the era, where the one is lyrics and the other is just mere echoes. Obviously, that of lyrics is a memory lane to the days of full happiness, while the songs have now reduced to echoes of those days of full happiness. The above, that is what I just said, is implicit as the imagery contrast expresses the poet's view that the women folk of Sierra Leone were ever happy before the Civil War. Post-Civil War, that is the aftermath of the war, the happiness has been badly affected. And also we have in lines 6 to 10, the poetic persona shows the image of the women folk of Sierra Leone as objects of reminiscence over those days of living in full happiness, as they now work alone on the farm, that is, without the presence of the men folk, their husbands. It was initially the husbands that would work on the farm, harrowing the land, but now it is in turn the duties of the women of Sierra Leone. It is also noticed in line 11 where Umar Farouk Sese throws up the image as the Sierra Leonean women folk mark down their civil war as an unnecessary murderous warring. Also in lines 12 to 17, the image is thrown up of that it has not been very easy for the Sierra Leonean women to put behind the mass widowhood, that is, the demise of their husband, which is forced on them by the Civil War. The poetic persona in lines 18 to 23 again paints the picture of the harrowing living condition that is now the women folks' lot in Sierra Leone. And finally, in lines 24 to 25, the picture is painted of abandonment of the rural areas, as if the ghosts of the war victim, that is the victim of the war, their ghost, as if it hovers around the place. That is in the last stanza, 24 to 25. Through the diction used by the poets, it shows the image as if the rural areas of Sierra Leone are abandoned, as if there's something chasing them from the places. That is about the imagery and the poem, and the next is a tone. The poetic persona crafts this poem with diction that arouse piteous feeling for Sierra Leonean women. So the tone in the poem is evocative. The choice of word evoke pity for the women of Sierra Leone. The last one is a mood and as pertaining to the choice of words used by the poets. In the poem, which is evocative of empathy and thereby the mood of the poet at that moment of time is pathetic. That is, he has feeling of pity for the women of Sierra Leone. That is why he put pen to paper to compose this particular poem, only to show to the whole world or the readers what really happened then in Sierra Leone and the aftermath effects of the war in Sierra Leone. The war, as it was said by another poet, lasted 11 years. So that is that about the lesson today on poetic devices and the poem, The Songs of the Women of My Land, written by Umar Farouk Sese. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for the new people that are visiting, and those that are there already, don't forget to share the video, share the channel, so that we have more people to enjoy this opportunity. Thank you and have a nice day ahead. Always stay safe.